Hello and welcome to the keynote session on India Edge in a post-COVID world. I'm Nabeel A Khan, and the speaker for this session is such a legendary business leader that I'm helplessly short of words to justify an appropriate introduction for him. But let me try it. The Emperor of Japan conferred on him Order of the Rising Sun Gold and Silver Star. The President of India awarded him the Padma Bhushan. Without much ado, I would like to invite Mr. R C Bhargava, the leading protagonist of India's manufacturing story and the chairman of Maruti Suzuki India, to enlighten our august viewers on India Edge in manufacturing. Mr. Bhargava, I'm pleased to welcome you to the ET Global Town Hall.
Thank you very much, Nabeel, for that introduction. And I am delighted to be able to speak to you in this webinar.
Looking at the current situation, you talked about GST. Do you see an enabler of demand, or you see it still dampener of demand, or how can it be corrected?
See, our own experience has been that in some areas, the GST has been of great help to us. For example, in the whole logistics area, the introduction of GST and solving the initial teething problems has resulted in a much faster movement of our trucks and vehicles carrying cars, bringing components. That has reduced cost of operation. There has been some problems with the small industries, but that problem arose because these industries were not used to maintaining proper accounts, and they were used to doing a lot of business in cash. But as I said, if you want industry to grow, you want industry to modernize, it can only happen if industries generate enough internal resources. And you don't generate internal resources if you don't maintain correct books. And if you maintain the books correctly, then GST is not a problem. It's a very simple way of doing your taxation and filling in the forms. But you do need to do good bookkeeping.
One important
there are one more. But there are areas where I believe the GST rates are inconsistent with rapid growth of manufacturing. And I think there's a need for government to review some of these rates. They again date back to our socialist era and bring those more in line with global rates on manufacturing products, so that growth of manufacturing in India can accelerate with better demand.
One pertinent question that you raised, or you pointed, that what India Edge has been is the manpower. With Industry 4.0 and COVID-19, people are moving towards automation. How do you see India placing itself as a competitive manufacturing hub? Or how can India provide an edge over other manufacturing nations in such a scenario?
As I said, Nabeel, it's very important that if we are going to manufacture for the global markets, we have to not only ensure that we compete on cost, but we have also to compete on quality. And at times, the achievement of 100% defect-free manufacture, which is really what today's customers are wanting in many areas, is only possible with a required degree of automation. Because if you do it all manually, the element of human error cannot be ruled out. But the mistake we all make is to only evaluate the jobs which are created in the manufacturing industry. In fact, manufacturing creates the bulk of the jobs in the services sector. And if we look at the whole creation of employment in the economy in a holistic manner, I think you will find that the only way of doing this is by both quality and cost in manufacturing, so that volumes expand and jobs are created both in the manufacturing and in the services sector because larger and larger volumes of manufactured products getting into the market and the customers' willingness and ability to buy those products.
You said that we should build a supply chain for global market. Can you briefly tell us which are the markets Indian manufacturer can probably look into for their exports or to be a supply chain provider?
You know, global manufacturing has become very, very competitive, and everybody everywhere is looking to reduce costs of manufacture. And most manufacturers of big OEMs, whether it is automobiles, whether it is aircraft, whether it is defense industries, whether it is even white goods and brown goods, are looking to find ways of cutting cost. These manufacturers and these products are essentially products which are assembled by the OEM. They design it, they assemble it. 60-70% of the components are bought out. So competitiveness of the OEM essentially depends on the cost and quality of the components. And if a country can produce these cheaper, then it has the potential of becoming part of the supply chain for an assembler who may be located in Europe anywhere, he may be located in Africa, he may be located in America, he may be in Australia, he could even be in Japan.
One last question, sir. What India offers that will attract global manufacturers to come and set up shops here, briefly?
I think India, as I said earlier, has a lot of advantages. The first advantage any manufacturer looks at is what is the size of the local market. And as I said, we have a huge potential local market, which we haven't utilized fully. Demand hasn't grown for various reasons we've talked about. In terms of human resources, I think the world recognizes that India probably has the best human resources in the world. You look at the big companies outside, especially in the technology area, most of them today are headed by Indians. Why have these people gone outside? Why are they not working in India? But it's not as if they are the only people who are that competent or that capable in those areas. I think in India, we have thousands of very, very competent people. Our workers in India, and I can say this from my experience in Maruti, are extremely good in terms of their ability to absorb complicated operations, in their ability to be totally disciplined, in their ability to produce at high productivity rates. So the manpower issue, which is often a big issue, is certainly a huge advantage for India. So market, manpower resources, I think these two combine to create an unbeatable combination, provided nothing is done to increase costs of manufacturing, let me say almost artificially, as a result of policy. That should not happen. There should be ease of doing business at minimum cost.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining Global Town Hall.
Thank you.